Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be taking you on an in-depth walkthrough of the Thinkorswim Analyze Trade tab. Now, regardless of which brokerage you use to actually place your trades, I recommend that every trader have a copy of Thinkorswim downloaded for this one free tool they offer that will change the way you evaluate your trades. Thinkorswim offers the cleanest Analyze Trade tab that I've seen on any brokerage and stress my trade position. And it's for that reason that even though I use interactive brokers myself to execute on my trades, I have a version of Thinkorswim downloaded which I use to evaluate my trades before putting them on. Free tools like this give you more control over your trade, moving you further away from uncertain market speculation and more towards well-equipped, profitable trading. Now I'm going to switch over to my computer and show you exactly why I love this tool. So here we are in Thinkorswim, and the Analyze Trade tab can be found by going to the top left corner here and clicking Analyze. Now you want to make sure you're on the risk profile, and this is the page that will come up. Another way you can get to this page is by picking a trade you want to put on. So let's say a 53 call here on Canopy Growth, right-clicking on the position and clicking Analyze Trade. And it will pull up the same page as before, except with your position populated. So in this video, we are going to go step by step. First, breaking down what this page actually shows us, and then a couple of the key functionalities of it that allow me to place better trades. So as we get started here, there are two parts of this page that you need to be aware of. Part one is this top half, which is the actual graph of our position. This graph part is really valuable because it will show us visually how our position evolves over time and as the stock starts to move. On the y-axis, we have our profit and loss, and on our x-axis, we have different strikes. And when we plot a position on this graph, it will show us how our P&L changes as the stock begins to move, or as volatility changes or time passes, which is really why it's so valuable. Below this, we have our price slices and positions, which allow us to quickly flip between different trades, or see how our position changes if we had multiple trades on at the same time. It's also through this bottom part that we are able to do something really cool, which is called stress our position, or see how our position changes under different market environments. So now that we have an idea of how this page is actually laid out, let's talk about three key things that you can do with this page that allow you to place better trades. Number one, it allows you to visualize your position and see your different risks. Number two, it allows you to actually stress your position to see how it changes under different market environments. And number three, it allows you to quickly compare different trade structures so that you can see the best trade to put on to best express your opinion on what's going to happen. So let's say I'm looking at Canopy Growth and I think the stock is going to continue to trend upwards. I think volatility is a little overpriced, but I think that the direction it will move is to the upside. And I want to see what the best trade to put on in the options market is for this week. Well, I do all my analysis and I determined that I want to do maybe a vertical spread. So I'm looking at doing something like this. I just turned on vertical, I clicked the check mark here. So what we can see now is that the vertical spread is populated on this graph above. And let's break down exactly what we're seeing here step by step. So remember, on the y-axis, we have our P&L, and on the x-axis, we have the different strikes. But we have these two lines that have appeared in the middle here, and you might be wondering what these are. The blue line is what our P&L will look like for different strikes at expiration. And expiration is February 12th, today is the 10th. And this purple line is our instantaneous P&L, meaning if we were to put on this trade today, what does it look like right now if we were to take it off? So it makes sense, for example, stocks trading around here, that our instantaneous P&L, if we put the trade on, is 0. And you can see that with the little number that appears beside it right here. Right? You see the little 0.3, 0.02, that's our instantaneous P&L if we were to put the trade on. Looking at the y-axis here, we can see what our max P&L is, what our max risk is, and where the 0 line is, or our break even, which is this thicker dotted line in the middle. So you can see that at expiration, our break even is at $54. And if the stock is above $54 at expiration, we're going to make money. And if it's below it, we're going to lose some money. Now, something else we can see here is, what is our risk to reward? How much money is our max potential loss? How much is our max potential gain? And for this vertical spread, we can see that our max potential loss is about $16 per lot, but our max potential payoff is about $84 per lot, meaning we are getting almost a 5-to-1, 6-to-1 risk reward on this vertical. All that needs to happen is Canopy needs to have a big up day, go above $54, and we're gonna be making some pretty good cash. Now, obviously this looks like a pretty good trade, but what if we don't know if the vertical is the best way to express our view? What if we want to compare it to something else, like maybe a 1-3-2 fly? Well, that is where this Analyze tab makes it even easier, allowing you to quickly flip from this trade to maybe this trade to see which structure you like better for the trade you're trying to put on. So for this 1-3-2 fly, we can see that our max risk is about $750, but if we are correct, we are going to get paid over $5,000, meaning we're getting an even better risk to reward betting that the stock is going to trend up. Right? Looking at this position though, it offers a pretty different payoff graph from the vertical we looked at before. With the vertical, if the stock went above $55, we were guaranteed our max profit. And that was at a 1-to-4, 1-to-5 risk reward. With this butterfly though, we can see that if the stock goes up to $56 or $58, we're gonna make a ton of money, but we actually start to lose money if it goes up beyond $56 or $57. And in fact, if it goes above $59.50, we're gonna lose money even though we were right on direction. So we cap the high end of where we think the stock is gonna go with this butterfly, but we get a better risk reward. And I can very quickly see that using this Analyze Trade tab. Now there's one more feature of this Analyze Trade tab that I think is extremely useful for every trader, which is that this tab allows you to stress your position. Probably the most important part of this. Now most traders will throw on a position, but aren't quite sure what happens to their trade if certain things happen, right? We're trading options here, they're volatility products. What happens if implied volatility goes up 10 points or goes down 10 points? Or what if the stock rallies 10% or crashes 10%? What will happen to our trade? Well, we can quickly see that using this Analyze tab, which I'm gonna do right now. So let's say we have this butterfly on and we wanna see how it changes under different market environments. Well, we have a couple of different things that we can control. So number one, we have our price slices here, which are attached to these yellow lines that you see, right? If we move this one, the top row down here changes, which will allow us to see how our Greeks look at different prices and under different circumstances. So let's say we put this one right here in the middle. We want to see how our position changes at this strike, right? At the 57 strike as different circumstances unfold. The next thing we can control is the date, right? What day are we looking at here? This option expires on the 12th. Today is the 10th. How does it look on the 11th? Well, I can press the up here and you can see how this position changes as time passes. Right? With our instantaneous P&L, this purple line becoming more like the blue line until it actually turns into the blue line. So we can control the time. We can obviously look at the different strikes, see how our position changes as the stock rallies or crashes. And finally, we can actually control how this position evolves as volatility changes. The way we would do that is by coming over to this cog here on the right side, clicking it, which opens up these parameters here. What we're gonna focus on is this vol adjuster. So let's say we wanna know what happens if implied volatility goes up 10%. Well, I would just add a 1 here, turning this into 10%, hit enter, and you can see that we actually lose some money as volatility increases. Also reflected in the fact that if we look at this price slice, we have negative vega exposure, meaning our sensitivity to implied volatility is that if it goes up, we lose money. If it goes down, we make money. So what about if volatility were to go down 10%? Well, we can come over here, -10, and you can see that we actually make some money. Now, this becomes very useful when you're trying to determine when you were right and when you were wrong as a trader. We start off by thinking of a view we want to express, but most people will either cut their winners too early or bag hold too long because they don't know when they are right and when they are wrong. Using this Analyze tab and seeing how your position evolves under different market circumstances will allow you to set finite rules for when you are right and when you were wrong. It will also let you know what your max risks and max potential rewards are under these different circumstances. And finally, it lets you compare different structures with so much ease that every trader should have a version of this on their computer. It helps that this is a completely free tool offered by Thinkorswim, so there's no excuse for not checking your trades and finding the best one to put on every time you have an idea for the markets. So if you have any questions about using this Analyze tab, make sure to leave a comment below. I'll definitely get back to you. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. I make content like this all the time. Remember, my goal in all of this is to help you go from uncertain market speculation to well-equipped, profitable trading. Thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.